No turning back now.
No.
Are we recording?
Are we? I don't know. I don't think we are.
I do love this intro, though. It never gets old.
Y'all can hear that, can't you?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's waiting on it because this is like a special
You're hanging with the Whiskey
moment.
Bros around the table.
Who's that?
So we actually have that person on the podcast.
Yeah, she's here
Right
with us
now.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our girl, Diane, is in the house with her family, the Monzons.
Yeah.
Yep. Welcome, guys. It's a special episode for us to have y'all here
Thank you.
and to hear y'all's story. Yep. We've been talking about this one for a couple of months
Yeah,
now.
for a while now. Yep. Number 19.
It is
Just
number
for the record
19
books.
since we're keeping count. But well, welcome to Whiskey Bros Around the Table. Thanks to everybody out there listening, and hope you are having a good one and sitting in with us and enjoying the story of what you're about to hear. So once again, we have the Monzons,
Hello.
Yvonne, Arturo, and their daughter, Diane. Did I say
Hello.
that?
Yes.
I feel like I never say your name right.
Diane.
I say it the
Yeah.
Texan way.
Oh,
Yeah,
Diane.
why do you think
Yeah, Texas.
why do you think I've nicknamed her D?
Yeah.
If it's D. We're gonna stick with that.
He just can't say it. So we did a food truck. Well,
We
you
did a
guys
video.
did the food truck. We did a video on your food truck, and it's been pretty well received for our little following. The video got released back in early July.
July.
And then I have to say it because we marketed that video, of course, locally. And then just for the hell of it, I was like, let's put an ad in Guanajuato to see how it did. So a lot of people around here would watch it. You get these metrics. Let's see if I can pop them up. But yeah, you get these metrics, and it shows 21,300 people.
It's not
Oh,
up
it's not
there.
up. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties.
We need
I just
that.
love
We
how
need-
you say these metrics.
We need the
You
music.
get
right
these
here.
metrics.
Yeah, we need the waiting room music. Okay, there it is. Yeah, 21,300 people reached.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is Guanajuato. And 22,000 video views. And that is people actually watching the video and not turning it off, like watching it all the way through.
Wow.
Now, if you go back to the metrics for people that we advertised here in Texas and DFW, it's like, okay, we had 16,000 people watch it and about 6,000 of them watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
our fans in Guanajuato, thanks for watching the whole video. I think the Whiskey Bros need to market there a little more often.
I know they're definitely interested in y'all's story.
He's very popular.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You had to move here because nobody knew your name. I guess you're a rock star in Guanajuato.
I know. So do you do social media with all those people?
Yeah.
Is that a big thing in Guanajuato, I guess?
Yeah.
Pregunta que si social media es muy popular en Guanajuato
Yeah,
y si lo haces
it's-
muy seguido.
Every day.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
Nice.
all day.
Yeah, all day. He keeps in touch with all of his friends.
Man, that's well, they all apparently like what you're doing. So
Well,
that's
is it
cool.
easier to communicate via social media since you're talking across the country and phone bills and using the phone is still kind of difficult, I'm assuming.
No, actually, phone bill is not an issue.
It's not?
Mexico now is
Okay.
part of a plan here. And
Yeah, even though
Company.
it's a neighboring country,
Yeah.
back in the days, it was like, oh, you want to talk to somebody in Mexico?
You had to go buy a
$400.
card.
$400 a
Yeah.
call. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to get a card and talk on the red phone.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. I
At
remember
the-
those cards, those
Yeah.
prepaid cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God we've gone somewhere as a population as far as like fixing that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's great. I was listening to the Joe Rogan, Mark Zuckerberg podcast, and according to Mark Zuckerberg, it won't be long till you'll put on this like VR glasses, you know, not even like the goggles like we have now, but virtual reality glasses, and you'll just be hanging out with your bros out down there in Guanajuato, like
Like you're there
in
real
the
life.
same room. Yeah.
I'm not all
Yeah.
on board for that. I think I would
Have you
physically.
listened to the podcast yet?
No, I still have not made it all the
Yeah,
way through.
it's
I think I would physically
It's
like to be
thought-provoking.
in a location, even though your eyes deceive you and lie to you and think you're.
Oh,
here,
your
but
brain, yeah, your
You're
brain
not.
registers VR as
people should still
are
travel.
as reality.
Yeah, for
People
sure.
should still travel.
Yes.
So, anyways, how has the reception of the video been on y'all's end? Hopefully, we didn't make y'all look bad.
I hope it's not been worse.
It's like, well, we were in business until you dropped the
Yeah.
video, and now nobody's showing up.
No, and the contrary, it's been a good result. Everyone comes, and a few people will say, "Oh, we saw the video with the Whiskey Brothers, and it's just awesome." They say how professional the video was, and
That's
you
nice
know,
to hear.
So we get great comments from our family in Mexico, our family in California.
California, yeah.
So yes, we've had a great. By the way, your uncle came by, and he said,
John, Uncle John, tall, skinny.
"Tall, skinny,
Yeah,
yes."
Uncle John, yep.
He came by, and
Right
so
on.
yeah, it's been great. So we thank you guys for that.
Oh, well, we thank y'all. Y'all were the inspiration behind it all. And it's nice to hear that it was decently professional because that was our first
Yes.
self-produced video. So
Yep, we did it all.
that's rewarding to hear that. It really is. And then I noticed y'all have more and more locations you're adding on your weekly menu, like James Woods being
James
one.
Woods.
Yep. And Still in Boyd.
Still in Boyd.
First Baptist Church in Decatur. And then anything new?
No, nothing new just yet.
Okay.
It's Grace Baptist Church, by the way.
Grace
Not
Baptist
first.
Church.
Yeah.
I'm old school, man. I
Yeah.
grew up here, so
Yeah, they're all
that was
First
always
Baptist Church.
that was the old First Baptist Church.
I'll be the living example. It's like, okay, if you plan to go out there, get onto the Facebook and look at where they're at, because I have gone to the place they weren't.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we've all taken advantage
While
of
we
Diane
were waiting
too,
on
and
your
hey,
video.
Where's your parents at today? Because we're just
Right.
lazy. We're like, where are they at today? I don't want to get on Facebook to look. But no, you're easy to find on Facebook, Monzon's food truck, and every week you post your schedule and where you will be. How long have y'all been doing the food truck at this point?
March.
You're in it a half a year then.
Yes, half a year. It's been half a year already, and we've been blessed.
5 months.
Okay.
5-6 months.
Y'all and y'all just got back from a vacation, which looked lovely in the mountains in Idaho.
Yes.
To see your son and his wife.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep, that looked lovely. We had just gotten back from Colorado, so I'm like, I'm hating to be home from the mountains in the summer here, and then I see all your pictures, and it just made everything worse.
So how has the first year in a small metal box in Texas heat been for you?
Yeah,
this
was
this being the
a banner
worst summer
year.
since
Yeah.
2011.
It's
Y'all-
pretty bad. So how was that?
Well, that
Was
makes
it-
me feel very victorious.
And it is.
should.
It is.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's been challenging. It has. Preguntaron que cómo ha sido este primer año en la traila, sobre todo en un espacio tan reducido y con el calor tan intenso que ha tenido Texas este año. And so, yeah, it's been tough,
Yeah.
but we've managed, and we have air conditioning in
Right.
there. The only thing is that the griddle offsets
Right.
the air conditioning.
the air conditioning. So yeah, we're sweating profusely all
Yeah,
the time.
this summer you didn't really even need a griddle. You could just cut a hole in the ceiling, let the sun come
the
through,
sun do it,
and
yeah.
cook all your stuff that way.
Yeah.
That is no joke.
Yeah.
There were a couple of occasions Heath and I found ourselves like talking about you guys. You know, it's like, I don't know how they're doing this. I really don't. That's like,
Yeah.
it's got to be just hot as all get out in there.
Yeah.
Look at me. 10 pounds less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to come work in the food truck for a couple of weeks.
It's like a sauna.
It really is.
I don't think that would work for me. I don't think I'd
I don't
lose
know.
weight.
You would offset the weight
not a
loss with
coincidence. I'm like,
tacos.
I thought you went there to lose weight, and I come back 50 pounds. I'm like, it didn't work for me. The food's too good.
Didn't you explore the idea of working at the meat market at one point?
I did that for one day. Okay, so I wanted to get a taste on how that would work out and what it was like, and I did a really good job, and it was fun working with them. But on my commercial construction side, it was slow. And as soon as I went to do this, I'm like, okay, well, I can do this a couple of days a week.
And business went.
And then everybody started calling.
Yeah.
But I'm now out of the commercial construction business, so I can go back to being a
butcher.
learning how to be a butcher.
Yeah.
Work for steaks.
Work for work for whiskey,
Yeah.
work for steaks.
Yeah, buddy.
Where do y'all get your
get it.
meat from?
We go to Costco.
Do y'all really? Okay.
Get it from Costco.
Have y'all made it up to Wise County or Wise Choice? There I go with the
Yep,
name. Wise
screwed it
Choice
up
Custom
again.
Meats yet?
We have.
Okay.
We've actually had some meat from there. We love their meat. They're
Okay.
great.
They're great people too.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Family
really
from
are.
up north in New
Yep.
York.
Yes.
Yankees.
I can't talk like
Yes.
them and hold my nose like my wife.
Yeah.
From up north. Love you, Josh. Love you, Lynn. But we've got a connection with y'all before we even met y'all through Diane. You being a barista that just showed up at Trinity Street.
Yeah,
2020. Did you start in 2018?
2018.
Okay. Yeah, showed up 2018 towards the tail end of it.
Yeah.
What, October-ish?
Yeah, in September, beginning
Okay.
of October. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was almost not a relationship because the first time I met her, she came and said, "Hey, I'm down from California." So I mean, that
He's
was
just
a,
like, I don't want to know
was
who
a
you are.
red flag right there.
Dig it.
Don't talk to me.
Dig it.
And then I wore a hat, and I got it from American Eagle,
Yeah.
and then it became American Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that big hat.
Oh, yeah.
Had the
Yeah.
huge brim, the flat top. Yeah, I remember that. But we got to know you pretty well through being regulars
Yeah.
at Trinity Street. Back in those days, it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 nights a
At
week.
least.
and
Yeah.
$400 or $500.
A day.
Yeah.
Like what, $2,000 a month budget?
Yeah, yeah.
And the employees were really regular at that time too. Like
Yeah.
you had a batch of starter employees, which were kind of essential to the Trinity Street.
Very much
crew.
so.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah, that place would not be where it is now without the OGs, I guess,
yeah,
of the
Diane,
staff there.
Can we say the other people? I don't think so.
They know who they are.
They know
who they are. If they want to come chat on the podcast, they're all welcome to
Yeah.
because there's plenty to talk about.
Which is crazy because me and Matt's the only 2 left.
Yeah.
I put myself
Yeah.
into the bunch just because I'm there.
Of course.
And you did work
he's
there.
Savage
I
Bro.
did work there.
You
Yep.
did.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
He did.
so-
Never served one drink.
No.
But he went through the training.
I
and
went through the training. Yeah.
I even got to benefit on one of those
Yeah, you
nights.
did.
I got to come in and just hang out during a training.
yeah.
I don't think I ever did go through a training.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But you still see Heath. He'll like if you're at the bar with him, he'll get up and walk around behind the
Oh,
bar.
yeah.
People that aren't regulars
yeah.
there, they're like,
Yeah,
what
I
the
go
hell is
back
that
there all
guy
the time.
doing?
Especially for coffee. I don't ask them for coffee. I just
You
go
just
get it
go
and
back.
refill my own and put it back out. It's really fun when they get a new kid up in there too. 'Cause
Yeah.
they don't know what to think of me, and then the people will be like, "Man, don't worry about it. It's just Heath."
Yeah.
But the point we became invested in your history and your family was, I remember it was a turning point in knowing you. You had been there a few months already, and we're sitting at the bar, and I look over, and you're talking to a lady from a Mexican lady or something, and you're both just speaking Spanish. As what you were talking about, we had no clue that
None.
you were from Mexico because your English, you never know. And y'all are just carrying on this conversation in Spanish, and I look over, and my jaws drop, and you look at me, and you're like, "What? How did you do that?" And yeah, we kind of got a little of your backstory, and then started asking questions about your family at that point. And I guess at that time, y'all were in California, and then y'all moved here early 2021, or before that was
September.
okay,
September
2021.
2021,
Okay,
yeah.
and then that'll roll us into your family story. I don't know who wants to start off with that, but where you found Decatur through Diane,
Through Diane.
Yeah.
and then moved from California. So where does the
Shoot, let's go back
I think
farther
we
than
start-
that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to roll it back here. So yeah, go.
So Yvonne,
Yes.
I think where we started on our previous conversation was Yvonne is not actually from Mexico.
Yeah.
She's from California.
Right.
Okay, but
You have all
but
these
it got
notes?
weird there in my head. I do. It got weird there because she didn't stay in California. So why don't you tell us about you in California first? You know, like your early childhood, and I'll just let you take it from there.
So I was born and raised in California, Southern California, and I lived in LA for many years with just my mom and my siblings. Mom is Mexican, dad is Mexican, so all of that Mexican,
So you were a first generation American.
yes,
Okay.
I'd say yeah. Although my dad would travel back and forth from Mexico and United States because they had businesses here, him and his parents. So yes, that was my dad still being. My dad was very Mexican at heart, no matter what. It's like he would always, if my mom was pregnant, he wanted to take her to TJ to have the baby's there.
Yeah.
She's in labor, and he'd drive her to TJ in labor so that she
TJ's
Yeah.
Tijuana.
Tijuana.
Okay.
Yes, that's like the border of
Tijuana.
California and San
I
Diego.
like it.
So yeah, but I was born after my parents were separated, so he didn't really have much influence on that. So I was born in LA. Raised in a Mexican home with my mom. We it was a rough childhood. Nevertheless, I mean, we had there was 4 of us. She had a raise, so she was a hardworking mom. And there's a 7-year gap. I know I'm jumping around so much,
Sure.
but this would only just connect everything at the end.
Yeah.
So, every now and then, when I started getting into my teenage years, my mom. I'm going to go back a little bit. There's a 7-year gap with my old sister and then myself. So my sister and my 2 older sisters and my brother had already left home. My brother to the Navy. My 2 sisters had already gotten married.
So after some point, you were like the only child.
I was the only child, yes, with my mom. And so she found it a lot easier for her to, I can't leave her
Yeah, you have what I think you're saying is you have more onus to kind of take care of her as a person or not leave her or what portion of your relationship was about kind of securing her loneliness?
My mom, I think it was a great portion. My mom and I were very attached. She was a very loving mom in her own way, although she didn't have the time to give us because she had to survive and work hard to bring us all up. Even though she
What'd
remarried,
she do?
she was a CNA for a convalescent home.
Okay.
And she did many things, but that was probably the most important.
What is a
one, so.
convalescent home?
For the elderly.
Okay.
Like an assisted living.
Nursing home here.
Nursing home. Yeah.
That's a nicer way to put it.
It is. It is convalescent home. It kind of has a certain ring.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sorry about the distraction.
that's good.
Thank God for nurses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she did the hard part for sure. So so as we were growing up, my sisters and my brother, they had already left, and 2 of my sisters were still in California. My brother was traveling because he was in the Navy. And my mom found it a little bit difficult to still keep an eye on me being a teenager, probably hanging out with the wrong crowd. And, although I was very quiet and very much to myself, people would still come around and be very influential. And so she decided that every now and then during the summer, she'd send me with my aunt, which is her sister, to León, Guanajuato. And she's probably going to be listening to this. Her name is Conchita. And
Conchita.
Conchita.
And she's turning it off now.
Why does it sound so bad when I say it?
So
to get herself a little break, get you a different influence, give you a little break, maybe.
And for her to have someone to be watching me.
Yeah.
And, probably good values, good, because Mexico was still very much to, you're going to be sitting at the table at 2:00. Everyone's going to be eating family at the table, that kind of thing. So my mom wanted that for all of us all the time. She looked for the best. And so I was the one that was sent to Mexico. And in those times, when I turned 16, actually when I was 14, she sent me one time, and I hated my life. I did not want to be in León. Just felt like this is not for me. I want to go back to California, have all my friends. And
why was that?
Like a cultural shock?
It was a cultural shock.
Okay.
Yeah. So at first I didn't want to, but once I was there in Mexico, and my cousins Erika and Carla, that's Conchita's daughters.
They'd make fun of her.
So
They'd make fun of you.
they would make fun of me of my Spanish because my Spanish was
How old were they
really
at the
bad.
time?
We were all around 14. So 14, Erica was probably around 14, 15 or 16 at the time. So,
that's like this overwhelming factor, like teenage girls.
yes.
And your Spanish was not
Brutal.
strong at this time?
No,
Okay.
It was bad.
Okay.
I would say one word for another. And they were, they lived in an area where social was, they lived in an upper class kind of a
Status.
status. Yeah. Good schools and in Mexico, they were very.
You're coming in as the outsider
the
of the group.
outsider, the American girl.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. And I loved it. I started loving it. We would go out. Mexico has no rules to anything. Like you'd go to a bar and you be 14 years old and it was okay. So we'd go to places like that.
Did you order a drink?
Ooh.
I mean, we weren't allowed, but we would still do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're still teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, we had a lot of friends. My oldest cousin, Erica, had her boyfriend and her sister had friends. And so we would all just hang out and have such a great time. So that was my experience in Mexico at 14 when I started really liking it. So every summer I'd ask my mom, hey, send me back. Can I go back to Mexico? So as I turned 16, I go back. But this time I tell my Mom, could I please stay and study here for a whole semester? Ooh. And she let me. And my aunt was, she welcomed me, loved on me, and they took me in. And that's when I meet Monzon.
Yeah.
Okay. Senor.
And that's no small thing. And maybe we can get into that next.
Yeah.
But tell us about the culinary influence in that time period.
Yes.
I mean, your mom cooked.
Yes.
Right.
Very well.
And then whenever you went to Mexico, it was all about food, maybe even more so. Mm-hmm. And
or was it? Or were you conscious of that at the time? Or was you? Was it something that you were thankful for then, or later on in your life, where you reflect back and think, "Oh wow, that food was something significant."
Oh no, I already appreciated food.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Us too, yeah.
My mom was great at cooking, but because she had a few jobs, she became practical, and so she needed to have pre-made food in the fridge and that kind of thing. But every time she had days off, she would make the greatest meals, and they were just amazing. Mm-hmm. And when in Mexico, Conchita, my aunt, my tia Conchis, she used to make the best food. She was a stay-at-home mom and submissive, always having the great meals for her husband and her kids.
Yeah.
So I learned from her a lot. She would always have us very involved in the kitchen. You're going to chop the tomatoes, you're going to chop the onions, you're going to do this, and this is how we're going to get it all together. So, yes, food was already...
You had an appreciation at an early age.
Absolutely.
Right on.
That's what is... Okay, so what does the food tradition look like in Leon or Mexico, like traditional Mexican?
What are you asking? They're over there.
Know,
You're looking at me asking this question. I'm like, I don't know, man.
I look at you when I'm trying to figure things out. Yeah. So because it's not like here in the U.S., okay, Southern food tradition is, well, you wake up, you have a Southern breakfast, and then...
Eggs and bacon.
Yeah, eggs and bacon, omelet, I
feel like that's kind of worldwide. Like eggs and bacon translate to everywhere.
3 meals a day.
Well, here I have in the notes there are 4 meals a day in Mexico.
Right, it's different.
Desayuno.
Yeah. So,
breakfast?
¿Quieres elaborar eso tú? ¿Cómo es el orden de los alimentos hacer?
Okay. In the morning is the breakfast.
Okay.
Is 8 in the morning.
If you're awake, no, like me, I'm not up at 8 in the morning.
In almuerzo is probably 11.
Okay.
Brunch.
And the dinner is comida in Mexico.
Okay.
Between 2 and 3 p.m.
So is dinner lunch? Or is dinner dinner?
Here it would be a late lunch.
It's comida.
It's comida.
Comida.
It's a whole separate thing.
Okay.
Yeah, full blown.
But he's not done.
Okay.
Cena is the cena, the dinner is in the night between 8 to 10 p.m.
The late night snack.
Four time.
And does everybody take part in meals?
Yes.
So that's a big change to kind of what we're
missing
enculturated into. I don't even know if that's a word.
And missing one is merienda. Merienda is
cereal.
Okay.
Yeah, cereal or meal with bran.
Yeah.
Is
some sort of grains or oats.
Yeah.
Mexican
eat
a lot of it.
And so the women are preparing this. I mean, that's a hefty duty, right?
That's literally a 12-hour job.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're in
Yeah.
the kitchen
All
all
the
day.
time.
Yeah.
All
Well,
day.
longer than 12 hours. If you're starting at 8 in the morning and ending at 10 at night, yeah, that's a.
Oh yeah, and everybody is dependent upon it. They're dependent on the food. They're dependent on the time together.
Yeah.
And
You
they're
know.
probably not in shitty health situations like we hear here in the States.
You're probably correct.
Yeah.
That's I think I grew up on like El Chorrito TV dinners in front of the tube.
Yeah, here, my exposure to Mexican food as a kid was the rolled up taquitos.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember those? They're like that big around, and you had to eat like 50 of them to get full.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy though. And we had our local Mexican food restaurant we'd go to, but by our standards, that was pretty crappy representation of what we know as Mexican food now.
But we didn't know any better.
No.
That's what we had, and it was good. So it's quintessentially what everybody calls Tex-Mex now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mexican food with lots of cheese on it,
Yes.
lots of
Yeah.
queso.
Maybe we can get into that, like the difference between Tex-Mex or what we expect, and the difference in guisada. Like
I'd say in the
traditional
last
Mexican
10
guisada.
years, we've this state has learned a lot and exposed or opened up to so much more than what it used to be here. But anyways, back to their story.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so okay, yeah. It's-
16 back in Mexico.
Yeah, I know,
16
but
back
I
in
was
Mexico.
just wanting to cap that and just say, like, okay, that's culture is food in Mexico, very much a traditional thing, and so there's a significance there. Okay, yeah, please
Yeah.
continue.
So 16 in Mexico, I'm going to school, quote, and I say quote because Mexico was not accepting my transcripts, I guess. My
Okay.
transcripts, Mexico it's a higher academic level than we are here in
That's
the
what I was going to
US.
ask. So at 16, are you out of? Are you into like college now, or is this still high school?
Well, unfortunately, because I was 16 here, sophomore in high school. Over there, they had me in junior high,
Okay.
7th and 8th grade, and I still couldn't understand a lot of the concepts in math
Okay.
and different subjects. So I was doing all the wrong things and ditching school and in Mexico, hanging out with good kids, but
Yeah.
But still
kids
being
that were
kids.
doing this.
Well, at some
yeah.
point, you got involved with the Monzons, and yeah, it's like so
trouble.
tell us about that. When
Yeah.
did that kind of pick up?
So that was towards the end of my stay in Mexico.
Yeah.
So my mom had let me stay there around the second semester of school that year. And so we went to something that's called a cockfight, palenque, in Mexico. It's a cockfight, and it was for a fair that they have every year in his hometown, Silao. I still didn't know him. So my cousin, that used to be his best friend, he was like, okay, we're going to go to Silao, which is a very small town. They carry guns. You have to be careful because they're very aggressive. They're going to shoot you. And then they're going to see you girls that are high class, preppy. And you just have to be careful not to be rude to any of these guys. So you have to be careful. So here we are. We're going to this cockfight. And then there's going to be this presentation afterward by a Mexican singer. So we're sitting there. And from one of the people that were with us in our group, she's like, oh, you see that guy over there? She's pointing across the palenque area, which is like the performing and the cockfighting area. It's like, you see that guy over there? He's so cute.
And
He's
the cross and the high because it's more cheap.
Okay. Sitting up there.
so
The
he's
nosebleed section.
So I'm sitting here like in the front area, and he's sitting up, and she's pointing at him like, see that guy over there? He's all alone with a hat, and he's so cute. You just can't see his face. Well, I'm dating him. I'm like, oh, all right. Sure thing. So I didn't pay attention because I was not interested in the hats and the mustache. Sombrero was not my thing.
All people they had.
Yes, everyone was wearing hats with the mustache, with the, Bunchies music kind of thing. And so
And that wasn't you. You were still
No.
very Americanized.
Americanized and hanging out with, with girls